Hey there, gorgeous souls. Welcome back for today's message. Today, I want to talk to you particularly about the roles that we play in society, in our families in particular, is the one that I'm going to highlight with you guys today. And I feel like so much empowerment in this one that I cannot wait to share with you guys. Hang on a second. All right, for some reason, my thing is doing something weird, but looks like I can't do any sharing. So if you guys find value in today's message, please do share it for me. That would be the greatest gift ever. All right, so today what I want to talk to you guys about is basically whether or not we are playing superficial roles in our lives and basically just defaulting into, just playing this real superficial level of connection that is available versus whether or not we are designing the quality of connection, the quality of our lives, and basically, designing the kind of life that we want to live. So what do I mean by all of this? I know the title is basically playing a superficial, societally imposed role is just like autopiloting your connection without any heart and any meaning. All right. And you guys who have been following along on these messages and know who it is that I am, and I know if you keep coming back, you resonate with these values, you know that my highest value is intimate depth of connection and love. Right. And if whatever is in your highest values, if you sacrifice those, you end up feeling very unfulfilled in life, all right? Now, we all as individuals have very different hierarchy of values, and this is what can be kind of challenging, and this is really part of the conversation when we talk about when we're just defaulting into the roles that we think we should play based on societal expectations versus what do I value as an individual, and what am I willing to and not willing to sacrifice in terms of what is most meaningful in order to connect with others or whatever, right? So basically, I want to bring this to the conversation, particularly around family, because I just think it's the area in our lives where we are trying to meet, and we always have been trying to meet our need, our universal need of belonging, that stems from particularly our family dynamic, right? And something that has been top of my own personal development in the more recent times has been really looking more closely at my family relationships and really considering whether or not I would actually choose to have those connections in my life if they weren't family, right? If they weren't blood related, would this be the quality of connection that I would invite into my life in terms of my friends and in terms of the people that I connect mostly with? And the answer actually really uncomfortably became that a lot of those connections that I have in my family weren't at the level of connection that I would choose to have. And if take the personal element out of it, like if I was to look at those relationships and compare them to the standard that I hold in terms of the people that I connect with, they just wouldn't get the light of day, right? Because those connections, the co-creation of what I've co-created and what they've co-created isn't up to the standard of my highest values, of the depth of connection that's available to us, right? And I've had to kind of look more closely or generate the courage to look more closely and really evaluate what's going on in those dynamics, because basically I was feeling not great. Every time I'd connect with certain people, I just wasn't feeling how I could, right? And I felt really the main thing for me was I don't feel like we're getting to know each other, right? I knew they have no clue whatsoever about who I am, what I value. And I was finding and really analyzing how I show up in a lot of those relationships. And what I was seeing and finding was that actually I was molding myself in order to go to their level of connection so that I could have any sort of form of connection. And so what that looked like, and you might find yourself in this boat as well, it really looked like me asking other people a lot of questions and just getting them on their topics so that you could have a conversation. And what I realized a long time ago was not everybody is curious or cares enough to actually ask you questions, right? And want to, co-create a meaningful dynamic. And so basically I've gotten to this point where I realized that the reason why I was continuing to play my societal role, right, like whatever I am in the family, whether that's a sister or, a granddaughter or even an auntie, right, or, all those different roles that I play to live what's expected if you are playing that societal role, I was allowing that, my knowledge of that, and the expectations that come with each and every one of the roles that we can be playing, and particularly focusing on those family dynamics, I was allowing the guilt of that, like if I didn't follow through and play a good enough role, I was feeling very guilty. And I had to actually analyze that. And I had to actually say, am I going to default into societal roles and I'm going to sacrifice my highest values and meaningful connection that's available in order to escape feeling guilty or ashamed if I'm not playing that role? Or am I going to go, you know what, I'm going to look at this dynamic not from a place of I'm playing a particular role and I'm just going to live to the expectations that accompany that role. Instead, I'm going to go, no, what are my highest values? What sort of high standard do I want to set in all of my relationship dynamics? And what is not working? Right? And the key here, which I've been really trying to find the answer to and see what really resonates, I'm still kind of on that journey, is I really do believe that any relationship that you want to have high quality connection in, it needs more than just one party in that dynamic to want that, right? And be willing to work for that. And if it's just a one-sided dynamic, right? If you're deciding, no, I'm going to set a higher standard here, I want to co-create a more exceptional and deep and meaningful connection with this person, if they're not on board with you, if they don't really care to go that depth with you, if they're just quite happy staying in a superficial kind of societal role, then basically, you feel very trapped, right? Because you can't control anybody else. And so this is the conflict that's been going on for me. If I want to have a higher standard of connection and I'm unwilling to continue down the path of this superficial waste of time in both of our energies, right? Because I have really high quality connections. And in comparison to some family dynamics and the roles that we play, they're just there's nothing to compare there, right? And it started me questioning, why is it that we just settle, right? We settle for that. And we feel guilted into spending our time in dynamics because we've been born into a role or a label in that dynamic, and it comes with certain expectations, even when it's sacrificing who we are, what's true for us, what we wouldn't tolerate if they weren't family members, right? And it started me kind of on that journey. And basically, I think it's really important to consider what you're doing in terms of the roles that you're playing and whether they're healthy or not. And like I said, I'm in the middle of this right now, and I'd love to hear your perspectives and your experiences on this topic as well. But basically, I'm on a journey right now where I am unwilling to settle for feeling guilted or ashamed into playing a role and living to a label in a co-creative space with other people who are playing those roles, right, their own roles, at that superficial level. And whether or not that other person wants to come on a deeper journey with me it's really out of my control. But what is in my control and what is in each of our controls, when we realize that we are settling for mediocrity in order to escape a sense of guilt or shame, or just trying to belong, even when it comes at the sacrifice of who we actually are, because we're operating in dynamics where people don't even really care who we are, and they don't even really see things the way that we are. And basically you're not actually in relationship with them. We're all just playing a societally imposed role that's superficial, unquestioned, and we're all just connecting with one another out of obligation, really. And we're not actually, to me, that's like a total waste of time, total waste of energy. And so instead of that, I haven't, like that's where I'm at right now, right? It's battling the fears. It's breaking through living to other people's expectations versus charting your own course, right? Are you going to default or are you going to design, right? Defaulting keeps you in the superficial level. Designing consciously allows you the opportunity for greater fulfillment and to not waste your heartbeats where they don't really count, where they're not really seen, where they're not really appreciated. And so this is the question that I have for you. Look at your family relationships, and I really want to hear from you. Like, are you feeling like the people that you play these family and societal roles as, whatever that label is for you, father, son, daughter, mother, niece, nephew, auntie, uncle, grandmother, grandfather, grandchild, whatever those roles are, do those people know who you are? Do you share who you truly are with them? Are you curious and caring enough to want to get to know them as the individual that they are? Are you co-creating something by design that leads you to depth of connection? Or are you hanging out on the surface in these superficial, obligated connections that you really can't be bothered with? Neither really can they. And we're just playing this very superficial level of connection. And I see it where we're even, we give gifts because we're obligated. Because I'm this person, that's, I play this role in this family, this is what I'm going to do. But there's no heart, there's no depth, there's no meaning. You're not, on a very superficial place of just selecting a gift, right? Like, are you doing it out of obligation, or are you doing it out of genuine care and excitement to give? All right. Like, are you connecting and hanging out with these people because you genuinely can't wait to do that, right? You're excited to be able to do that. This is what I would love to hear from you guys. And weirdly, I am not seeing, I've got my iPad over here, and actually, that's a good point. What I'll do is I'll open up my Facebook on my iPad, and then I can see your comments, because for some reason I'm seeing the notifications come up, but I am not seeing them from you guys. So let me just make sure. Oh, there we go. All right. So I'm definitely going to be checking in with you guys. I can see Jonathan and Jose and AJ dropping me some comments. So please do drop me some comments. Let me know where in the world you're tuning in from. Can't wait to check in with you guys. But basically, I really want to just finish my rant a little bit on this note. What I am seeing, and I'd love to hear from you guys if you relate to this as well, is that our connections, when they are operating on this very superficial level where we're just playing the role, what I'm seeing is this kind of hierarchical nature of connection being coming through this kind of desire to project our own values onto other people, right? Like, whether it is, if we look at the hierarchy of our family relationships, when they're very superficial, we're not actually caring to connect with curiosity as to who is this individual in front of me, no matter where they were born, in the bloodline. Who is this individual? Let me get to know them. When we stay in the superficial roles, what I see is that we just get very controlling, very opinionated, and very projective of our own experiences and our own values onto these other individuals because of where they fall and where they're situated in the hierarchy of our family. And I've gotten to a point where I'm really gleaning the consciousness of this and seeing the pattern of it. And we're mistaking this desire to control and project our values onto other people. We're substituting the quality of connection that is available to each and every one of us when we get outside of the societal superficial roles and we actually go consciously designing the quality of connections with the individuals that are present in that family line. And and I will say this might sound kind of harsh, but I'd love to hear your perspective on it. But I don't believe that just because somebody is in your family, you should allow poor treatment, right? Like you should allow them to treat you however you think that they can because they're in that level of the hierarchy which is above you or whatever because of the societal roles. If people don't know who you are, if they don't really care to get curious, ask yourself, is this person who's in my family, are they somebody I'd choose to be in a friendship with? Are they somebody that add value to my life and really appreciate who I am and allow me to add value to their lives? Am I able to be all of who I am with these people? And basically, if you're not, I want to challenge you in one of the most challenging ways possible, which is you put yourself in a position to potentially, lose that sense of belonging in those dynamics. But I want you to challenge the quality of connection, and I don't want you to play a victim, right? We don't play victims and we don't just project onto our family members, oh, I don't have the quality of connection, you don't even know me, so, F you and never see you again. That's not really empowering, right? What we want to do is take responsibility for the co-creation of each and every one of those dynamics, because we're half of the equation, and to set a new standard and have the courage to communicate and allow the opportunity for people to come on the journey with you to that higher standard that we've clarified and envisioned as the leaders of our own lives, and lose the attachment to them having to change who they are to meet your values, right? Because otherwise we're just being hypocritical. But you must be able to courageously and boldly give other people, and lovingly give those other people the opportunity to come with you towards a co-creation of a new vision of that connection. All right. And so it's childish to ignore it and succumb to guilt and shame and just play the role by default. It's also childish to blame 100% over this way and just go, you know what? I'm never going to see you again in your life. Both elements are very childish. We need to meet in the middle as the adult in the co-creative space and give people an opportunity based on the work that we've done to clarify and really envision what we want. And I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about that. All right, like I said, if there are any questions that you have, any comments that you have, and if you do find this message of value, please do share it and drop your comments below. For some reason my phone, which I'm doing my Facebook Live on, it's like frozen, but I can still see myself talking. Lucky I got my iPad here so I can see your comments because they're not coming through there, but let me check in with you guys. So drop me a comment. I have got Jonathan, good to see you, my friend. And I've got Mark and Jimmy and Simon, good to see each and every one of you. And Jose says, for some reason I lost the connection. Oh, okay, I have to check this subject later. Yeah, sorry guys, something's happening to my Facebook Live today. So I hope you guys catch the recording to this one. Turns out we're not going to have much interaction live, unfortunately, but so good to see some of you managed to kind of tune in for a moment. Hope to hear back from you, Jose. Any thoughts or questions you may have. And good to see you as always, AJ and Bill. Hello to you, my friend. So good to see you. Let me just quickly refresh and see if there's anything more. I don't think there is. So that's my message for you guys. I hope it has been of value to you. I hope it's genuinely got you thinking about your roles in your family dynamics in particular, and just see whether you're kind of on autopilot and you're just running a role without any heart or meaning in the connection, right? You're just doing what you think you should do or you're obligated to do based on where you're born in the bloodline, right? And you're not designing the quality of connection and relationship that you have. You're just defaulting, all right? And so I'd love to hear from you guys. Hope this has supported you. Hope it's been of value to you. And I absolutely cannot wait to hear from you guys when I finally get to connect with you guys. All right. And as usual, I really want to remind you guys to go out there and honor your authenticity, deepen your intimacy, and definitely contribute your gifts meaningfully and purposefully. All right. And if you'd like any support on that, you can always reach out to me, and I'll look forward to seeing you guys in the next live that I hope actually works properly so we can engage more live. All right. Much love to each and every one of you, and I will see you very soon.